Hey guys, what is going on? Devon here. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 101. I am joined, per usual, by the man, the myth, the beard, Mr. Josh Music. Josh, say hello.
Hello, Josh.
Again, every time. And joining us from the last episode, the man himself, the Jolly Tan Giant, Mr. Sawyer. May Sawyer, say hello.
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 That's all you're getting.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, so, gentlemen, we just got done with the most recent game, the first game of the so-called handheld trilogy, Kingdom Hearts 358 and a half days. I should actually clarify, it's actually not called that. There's a specific way to pronounce it, which is going to make you flip you out. It's actually pronounced Kingdom Hearts 358 days over 2. Yeah.
What? Why?
Okay, let me explain.
Why?
Because it takes place it follows the span of 358 days over the span of 2 people. And if you want to get extra Kino, it's because it takes place 358 days before the events of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, damn.
So
there's like 4 different ways to interpret
there's
that
a bunch of
fucking title.
Much like a bunch of things in Kingdom Hearts. This, of course, is the story of Roxas and his time in Organization 13. The game was originally released on Nintendo DS, but we're actually going to be covering all of the HD remastered cutscenes that were on the PS4 collection. I'll briefly talk about what the gameplay was like and why I'm thankful we're not actually playing it. But we're just per usual going to sit around, talk about the story, our favorite characters, what moments made us laugh, what moments made us cry, and all the other joys, and of course getting our next predictions for the next game that we'll be playing. So just to start off in general, gentlemen, what were your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2?
I hate that title so much.
I can get behind it. Knowing the deeper meaning, I can get behind it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good to see it finally explains a lot of in between stuff. The only thing is it's just me personally just putting too much thought into things. Mm-hmm. It's just I have an issue with Shion's character,
oh dear,
the creation of Shion's character, but I'll get more into that later on. Overall, her personality wise, no problem. On just the idea of her being created, I'll get more into it. But
I know where you're going with it. So.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I like the fact that we get to see. And we've kind of come to this conclusion that because none of the organization has hearts, they're all assholes to each other. And you really get to see that in this game.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's okay, we've got a leader, we'll follow him, but every so often, fuck everyone else.
Yeah. It's like a reality show.
But it's interesting because we already see through the other games, Axel's fairly humanized. He's very human-like. Mm-hmm. And this game really pushes that forward. Seeing him interact with Shion and Roxas. Yeah, the Sea Salt Trio.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, as of right now, it's going to be a very unpopular opinion.
Are you sure?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
But it's my favorite trio. Of the 2 trios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's not as unpopular as an opinion as you think. Everybody really likes this character. Days has a very interesting perspective for a lot of people in the community because everybody seems to put the Sea Salt Trio on a bit of a pedestal because yes, the story of Roxas and Axel and Shion is very beloved and everybody does really like it and sort of their story.
Since game 2, Roxas has been my favorite character, right? I love Sora, but Roxas is something special. I started with him, right? He's been the mystery I've always wanted to know.
And I know a bit more.
Now I know a bit more, right? So it just makes his value to me much higher.
See, I kind of agree with you with this is slowly becoming my favorite. My favorite trio overall is still Sora, Kairi, and Riku.
Absolutely.
My least favorite is Sora, Donald, and Goofy. more so because now that I think about it, they really, unless in future titles, they really haven't done a whole lot of explanation between Donald and Goofy as characters. I know, like, if you watch any other Disney properties, you'll know a little bit about them, but, like, they really haven't done too much character building. It's just like Goofy seems to be kind of the smart one, and Donald just seems to be the shit disturber with Sora. And that's really it.
The angry little guy.
In this game, it was really nice to see that the characters were fleshed out, and they all had a little bit of their own personality, even if some were kind of stolen from other characters.
Yeah.
Funny enough.
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny too, is like Days is actually one of the more, because it's very closed off, because it takes place in a very like contained section of Kingdom Hearts lore, it is actually pretty straightforward to follow it all.
I like that.
Yeah, I think there is, like you said, there is some terminology that kind of gets a little messy when it comes to like how Xion was created and all of that, but I do agree, like I think the way they tell the story of their friendship, it's basically a tragedy.
It is.
Of how all of these friends want these good times, but because of the order that they work under keeps fucking them over, it just makes it
and
heartbreaking.
Because of what they are, right?
Yeah.
It's hard, and when they finally learn of the duties that they have to perform, right? It makes it even more tragic when you know that's the right thing to do, but you also really want them just to have what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
They're stuck in. It's really humanizing because it's like they're damned if they do, especially Axel. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You've got some really hard decisions. It's probably why this one's really popular. Is because Sora has the easiest. It's like, okay, defeat Heartless and Nobodies.
Yeah, he's your golden boy, right? Like,
he's the hero.
Exactly.
He has the easy choice of just fighting no matter what.
Yeah,
if anything, it's harder to sympathize and connect with him, right? Because he just kind of gets it all. He has to fight, and he loses, right? And he gets beat back every once in a while, right? Which is humanizing and sympathetic, and you're easily connected to him in those times, right? But then he just bounces right back like nothing, right? So, if anything, like I said, I find him, I'm less connected to Sora than I am to Roxas. Even playing as Sora for most of 2.
Yeah.
Right? That's not to say I don't like him. I love the guy.
Yeah.
But I sympathize with Roxas.
You know what's
more.
funny though too is Roxas is part of Sora, so
Exactly.
like really
Yeah.
are you?
I really,
Which is kind of mind blowing. It's
It
just
is.
like it's basically you love both of the characters in a weird way.
He's Sora if everything bad happened to Sora. Essentially.
Yeah, I think so. I think the best way to put it is like Sora's whole journey. It's basically a typical hero's journey in good versus evil, and I think that's why it's so easy to like watch his story unfold, and it's easy to be like, okay, I get it, you're the good guy and whatnot. With Roxas and the whole Sea Soul trio, it is really difficult because they are working for the bad guys, and they have that, but they don't have that mentality that they're bad until it gets near the end, and they realize that, oh, we've been doing some really bad things. So I think that's what kind of makes it very interesting to watch unfold.
Yeah, especially with Xion and Roxas when they break off right at the end. I wish that they probably do, maybe more so in the actual gameplay, but I wish the end of the game would have focused more on them breaking away, right?
Yeah, there is, when you do play the game, they do something a little bit interesting where like Roxas's power level, you can feel while you're playing that you're not doing that much damage to enemies while you're teamed up with Xion, who's doing like godlike attacks on everybody. But yeah, it's really interesting. I guess that could probably be something that I can touch on real quick, talking about the gameplay of Days, since I didn't really show you guys a lot of what it was about. Basically, this was the first. No, it wasn't the first time it was on a handheld device. Chain of Memories was technically on the Game Boy Advance, but this was on the Nintendo DS. And basically what they tried to do was take Kingdom Hearts 2's gameplay style and try and put it on the Nintendo DS. It didn't work. The gameplay is probably one of the biggest attractions from Days, in my opinion, because the way that the game is structured, it's structured into a mission-based format, how you go to worlds and segment the story. So it's great for a portable system whenever you want to like take it out and play a couple missions and stuff like that. But when you're trying to experience it as a story, it's kind of muddled and the pacing's not really all that great.
Choppy.
Yeah, it's not the pacing's not all that great, and even I would say that's just a big detraction that I have personally with Days as a whole, is that the pacing is not that great because it's constantly just showing you the same scenes over and over again, constantly going back to the to the Twilight Town like clock tower, and but like when there is actually really good like plot moments going on, it hits and it is really satisfying to watch. Mm-hmm.
I was about to ask before you got on the gameplay. As soon as you said that, I was like, "It's not card based, is it?"
No,
I swear to God, is it card based?
It is not card. It's not card based. They try to go back to like the command menu style from the first two Kingdom Hearts games, but how you like arrange it to make it look like is way different. They do like this panel system where you have to like throw on different panels that judges how much you're leveled up, how big your strength is, how you change your keyblade. It's a mess. It is an absolute mess.
I need to know, for future handheld games, do they just go to turn-based? Because that's what they should do. It's just turn-based.
They take a few more turn-based elements, I guess, but they still stick to an action RPG format. But it is much clearer and easier to use.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say, like, just make it turn-based. That's easy to do on portable, and you have no issues.
Yeah, developers are scared of that because it takes you out of the action, right? It takes you out of the story because then you're worried about who has what.
You can still
do what damage.
You can still do turn-based and just have 3D models fighting each other.
Oh yeah.
No,
it doesn't need to be 2D.
I mean, like if you're gonna do a turn-based game, I feel like you have to create your story and everything else around the turn-based gameplay, right?
Well, you could still do turn-based, and in every battle or so, you win. You get a cutscene. I don't know. Just like I thought it'd be like at the time, especially with portable devices, you don't have a whole lot of hardware to work with. Just clean and simple. Anyways.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So aside from our three main characters, Roxas, Axel, and Shion, do you what are your other favorite organization members? Do you guys like or find interesting to talk about?
You know what? As much as he's an asshole, I really do love Xemnas because he sticks to his guns and he wants what he wants, right? And he still has his team. He wants to use his team. He wants to trust his team, but he knows that he can't because they're all heartless and they all have their own intrigues, right?
Yeah.
So you see this struggle within Xemnas. I'm the leader, that they listen to me, but also I got to get things done myself because these idiots are doing their own stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So I like seeing that dynamic with him, and he's the what was I trying to say? He's the playmaker. He's the one, putting everything into motion and seeing him reflect on that, especially in the reports, seeing him in the game.
Yeah. Especially
some of his
reports,
dialogue some of his dialogue, some of his reports are the best reports in dialogue in the whole game. So I really enjoy Xemnas.
I'm gonna say guitar guy.
Guitar guy,
of course.
Demix, yeah.
No. Who is the? I forget his name. I'm terrible. Like, there's only a handful of names of the organization I memorize.
The gambling one.
You gotta get it memorized there.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get it memorized. Dude with the eye patch.
Oh, Zigbar. Yeah.
Zigbar. I liked him. I like to see because in KH2, like, he was there briefly before getting his ass kicked, and that was it. So it was nice to see like him saying like he knows shit, but he's like, meh, I'm not gonna share this information with others.
I'm just gonna be a shit disturber right now.
Fuck you, Wall.
Yeah. I kind of like that. He was the most organization member of the organization in the sense that he knows information that he could share with others to help the team, but fuck you all.
Yeah, that's basically. Yeah, I also like Zigbar. I think I know he's probably the biggest asshole to our characters, but I personally also like Sayax a lot.
Sayax.
Because I really like watching the deterioration between his relationship with Axel,
Yeah.
and just sort of seeing like, oh, you two had history, you guys have stuff going on, and to watch that sort of deteriorate and watch him just become an even bigger spiteful asshole to everybody just because things are falling out of way, not just for your new team that you're playing for, but also just your own personal goals are falling out. I think that's really fascinating to watch unfold, especially knowing where it goes in later games and stuff like that.
Syax would be number 2 for me after Zemnis, excluding the Sea Salt Trio.
I think I also like the fact that Zigbar is a sharpshooter with only one eye.
Yeah,
That just took me until now to realize like that's a thing. So, but
he's like Deathstroke.
But you know what? It's also funny too because he's kind of observant with also one eye.
No.
But
I have to say, probably the most observant character in that game is still Axel.
Axel is definitely super.
The shit that he can piece together, is incredible.
But yeah, I like Sigbar and Guitar Guy, but like again, he's pretty useless. I mean, Sitar Guy.
Sitar Guy. Yeah, it's not actually guitar; it's a sitar, but.
He's too
whatever.
busy.
It's a thing you strum.
He's too busy being the pretty boy.
Yeah, the pretty boy. Reading his reports are great because it's just him trying to come up with song lyrics. It's wonderful.
It's just
nothing
him.
to do with anything else.
Yeah, it's just him being him.
Yeah. That's the way you want to live, though, isn't it? Just you got to do your own thing.
Actually, now that I think about it,
Don't
he's
get caught up
probably
in shit.
the most innocent organization member in terms of like, what did he do that was evil?
Yeah, that's true. He's just doing his job. He's just clocking in, clocking out, do his thing.
He's a Squidward of the organization.
Squidward!
Minus the grumpiness. He's a Squidward. He's just like, I'm here to get paid, and I'm going to go home and play my clarinet, my sitar.
I get a sweet new cloak and a place to sleep. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's great. Was there... I guess because we're recording this after playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and because Days leads up to Kingdom Hearts 2, was there anything from this game that now looking back at Kingdom Hearts 2 you're like, oh, okay.
Yes,
I kind of get that.
The entire beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. I never, when I was first playing the game, I didn't play 1, right? I just jumped into 2. The entire first part of the game is like, what the hell is going on, right? Like... At first, I thought like Roxas was our main character, and technically he is, but we know it's much more complicated than that.
Yeah.
And he finds Sora and merges back together, and Sora wakes up, and just the entire game made sense from there on out, right? Except for that first part. I'm like, what the hell was that all about?
7 days? What the shit?
Right?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Why 7 days? Why are we with this guy if this guy's the main character? And blah 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 blah. And then now watching this, it makes sense, because Roxas is reminded of that's his time in the organization throughout 2, and all of that's a mystery to you if you haven't played any other games. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing. What the hell is going on here? And then this game clarified it, where he had actually been part of the organization and left. Beaten, then put back in the simulation, right? And that's where you start from 2.
Well, it's interesting.
That makes more sense to me now.
It's interesting to see, because you assume that starting the first game, he was just kind of... You kind of are led to believe that he just up and left.
Yeah.
He knew that they were evil and up and left. It's like, no, he actually spent almost a whole year
with them. Yeah, he
with
knows.
Them, and was friends with 2 of them.
Yeah.
The other thing I liked about this game too is seeing Riku's promise with King Mickey.
Yeah.
That was played out. It's like, you knew about it, but like, what were the terms? And like, it was actually interesting to see. He's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Please take care of my friends.
Yeah.
It's like you see Riku have his doubts with coming back, or at least not coming back as himself, which ended up happening.
I like that. Well, yeah, right. Yeah, he didn't. He unleashed the dark power.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Days that you kind of see more of as we go through later games is that it retroactively makes things from past games more interesting. Like, for example, the one thing that really when you think about it more, breaks your heart is that first line within the first day when Roxas and Axel go on their first mission, and Axel's just like, yeah, what's my name? Axel. And what's our boss's name? Xemnas. No way you're going to forget about that. Then you think back to Kingdom Hearts 2 when Roxas is like, we're best friends, right? And he's just like, wait, you remember? Oh my god, that's awesome. Hold on, just got to make sure. What's our boss's name?
Yeah.
And he forgets, and you're just like, oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad.
That really hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like moments like that. When you think back to like the tiny moments from past games, retroactively thinking back to your mind, it makes it more heartbreaking, more fascinating to think about. It's just like, oh to it, wow, like yeah.
On top of what there already was, layers, lots of layers.
So yeah, should I go into my gripe?
Oh, what's your gripe with it?
Here we go.
Well, I don't know if the later will maybe go further into this and explain some more details and further develop. But the fact that, okay, so we've got, first comes around Roxas, I'm assuming, like, so they know, like, okay, we got a Keyblade master within our ranks that we could use to our advantage to get more Heartless because we can't control Sawyer. There's just no way.
No. Not happening.
But, so they know that he still can share memories with Sora. But currently does not have all of them, right? He's kind of scattered.
Well, it works because Sora's passed out.
Yeah,
and the
Sora's
farther Roxas is away from Sora, the better.
Yeah. Why like, I get making replicas for their own use, but why the shit make one that's gonna also try to steal memories from Roxas taking memories from Sawyer? Like, it just kind of seems...
How dare they steal my memories?
It just seems kind of like you're throwing a wrench into the work. Like, why not develop something that will help, like, control Roxas more? Limit his memories of some sort.
Well, she's the one that goes apeshit first.
It's like, why? Like, we have a nominee that can do stuff like this. I don't know. It just seems like we're adding more trouble to our. I get what they were trying to get. Like, okay, this replica, if we can get her to form and become a Keyblade Master, then we can have a choice of offing one of the two and controlling them. But it's like,
well, basically they're treating her as a failsafe.
Yeah,
like,
but there's more potential for Xion in the end, right? Because she's siphoning memories, right? As well as power. So eventually she would overtake Roxas completely, and I think the ultimate goal was to make her the absolute equal of Sora, right?
Yeah.
Because Roxas isn't by any means necessary.
Yeah, in order to keep, like, basically taking away more of Sora's memory so that he won't wake up, he won't interfere with our plans, and we also have two Keyblade wielders. If one of them goes, that's fine. We still have the other who will still carry out our mission.
I get that. It
still does kind of seem counterproductive when you really think about it.
It seems redundant.
I understand there's a method to the madness, but
that's it. It's like, I understand the method. It's just like,
it doesn't make any sense in terms of
why not. Like, there could have been another way that they could have. I feel like it's funny enough. Like, Xion is actually, the more you think about it, the more like, why?
Yeah.
It's like they could have done this game with just Axel and Roxas and still had him just trying to piece together like Roxas trying to piece together who he is, and still had them trying to control him, and Xion could have just not been in the game. It just, the more I think about it, the more Xion actually doesn't really matter if she exists, which is kind of funny because
at the end of it, maybe she just dies.
Well, and then maybe on a whole other level that was the point. Yeah, right. Yeah. You never know. Maybe that was the point, to put her in the game but have her be absolutely useless to anything. Right?
It's sort of
besides developing Roxas as a character more.
In a weird way, it's
which
sort
she
of
does.
It's sort of like the box in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, the suitcase.
It's like, the suitcase. It's like the suitcase could have had nothing for all we know. But it's sort of like this. It's like, Xion, is she useless or is she actually useful?
Right.
In developing the story.
That's the question, because you could argue either way and still be right.
But I think, like, they could have done without her and just maybe said like, okay, we're trying to develop a technique to control Roxas, but maybe it fails. That's basically what it feels like. But it's like, why come up with a replicant that could possibly? Well, time-wise, do the Riku one fails first, right?
Yeah. So the Riku replica from Chain of Memories, Vexen deemed it like inferior, like it was just a prototype. It's not gonna work out for what we use, so we'll just treat it as a toy over in Castle Oblivion and that'll be fine. This number I though, Shion, she's gonna work out just fine. You guys take her off and do what you gotta do.
Okay, because I was just gonna say, like, you think like, oh, the first one didn't work out, let's do more of the same.
Yeah, the second one has to now.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I guess that's just kind of my gripe. It's just like, why add more possible trouble to an already messy situation? But I see what their thinking was. That's where the more I find out about the organization, the more you realize it's such a it's a convoluted you follow it. It's not as convoluted as it seems if you pay attention. But like,
there's an overall plan.
If you look at it as a whole, it's convoluted. If you start looking at different pieces, you realize, oh wow, everybody's got their own agenda. Yeah. The leader's just trying to keep everything together.
Yeah, absolutely. But which is why I like him. Like he's trying to reel everybody back in.
Overall, I love the story. I love the craziness of it in one way. Yeah. It actually it's kind of crazy. It's
like one big fucked up family.
You don't really see that too often, where a story is like, oh wow, I get it, but at the same time, why is there's so much going on, and why is this doing this, and I get it, but at the same time, like,
And this is one of the more linear games, so
that's fair.
That goes to show you.
I guess I'm mixing in part of like the other games, but for this one, yes, it's pretty linear. But yeah, Shion's the only thing where it's just like, I get it, but also, really, that was your best failsafe?
Yeah, that's true.
That was your best failsafe? Jeez Louise.
Let's make her exactly like our worst feared enemy. Why not?
Yeah, I just thought like, okay, well, we got Roxas. Maybe they should develop a device that would keep his memories in check to a certain point.
Roxas is Sora, but he's not Sora. You know, he can't replicate Sora the same way. He has his abilities, but he can't get to Sora's level. Whereas Shion can.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of why it kind of screwed them over more, is because they didn't realize, oh, you guys are going to become friends. Oh, you guys are going to become, you're going to get your own individual personalities. Right. We are husks. We didn't think that this was possible.
Right, exactly. They couldn't even understand that, right?
We didn't count for the power of friendship.
No, right? Well, the fact that they know what it is, but don't know what it means to be friends, it's terrible.
Yeah, like even at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, like Sora was telling Xemnas, like, don't you remember like your other feelings that like that a heart has? And he's just like,
the hell?
No. Yeah. So.
What do you say? I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Cries in the corner.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we move on to our next topic of discussion?
I think that's it. Like, that's really like, it's a gripe, but it's not really a gripe. I just think like, I part of me wishes they would have done a little bit different with, like, they could have took Shion out completely and just said, oh yeah, Roxas is dealing with his identity and we're trying to keep him under control. And that, I think, would have been still as fine, but I'm still good with this because it really doesn't make sense that why make just one replicant if it fails, like with the Riku one. And
I think they were trying to go for symmetry, right? The sea salt trio to match the golden trio.
Yeah, I feel like that was by design. Nomura just wanted another character so that, hey, we have another trio.
Yeah,
hooray!
Look, it looks like Name. It looks like Kairi. Here you go.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
I actually like her design. I will give her that. I like her. Kairi in emo phase.
Yeah, that's actually what it is. It's
kind of cool.
You got the red head, the blonde, and the emo.
Yes.
The dark-haired one now.
Yeah. I think that's all to talk about Days then, if I'm mistaken. I think it's a good game. If you have a Nintendo DS, I'd try it out. But if not, the PS4 collection should do you just fine with that. But
you want to talk about Axel quick? Go move more into him.
Oh yeah,
his whole role throughout this game.
Yeah, I really like Axel. I think he's one of my favorite characters,
Me too.
I think Days helps that, especially now when you take into context all the things he did in 2 to get Roxas back. Now you have context as to why he's doing that. Like, that's upsetting. He just wanted his best friend back.
But all through 2, you're led to believe that he's the bad guy. You want to stop him. And now in this game, you feel like the biggest piece of shit playing Sawyer or Roxas in that game, right? Because they've humanized his motives.
Yeah.
So, it makes you want to sort of jump ship for a bit and play for the other team, right? For just a little bit, and then jump back, because obviously you don't want to be with that organization at all.
Yeah, no.
But, it's sad how, those nobodies got roped into it just because they're nobodies. That's really all it is. You're a nobody? Okay, come on. That's it. It's the one level. Other than that, there's no connection to these people at all, or from these people at all.
Yeah.
And they all want a heart for very different reasons. So.
Yeah. Days. Good game.
Yeah.
Kind of boring, but when you get to the good stuff, it's good stuff.
I can see the gameplay being boring, but
the actual story
plot is actually quite engaging to me.
I'm trying to think. So I think we should probably move into our discussion about the next game we're going to be playing, and the best way to talk about that is actually something from Days that I pointed out. When Shion decides to leave the organization for the final time, leaving into the end game, she goes on a mission with Axel and Xigbar, and Xigbar looks at Shion, and you know how everybody, when they look at Shion, she looks different. Syax just sees a puppet. Axel and Roxas see emo Kairi.
Yeah.
When Xigbar looked at Shion, she looked like a character who kind of looked like Roxas, but different. Like, he had a different outfit and a different kind of demeanor to him and the way he moved. That's because that character is not Roxas. That character is actually one of the 3 characters who was in the Kingdom Hearts 2 Secret movie. You had that brown-haired guy who suddenly had the golden eyes at the end. You had the blue-haired chick. Mr. Baldman and his weird Nosferatu, yeah. and his weird helmet-looking accomplice. All of those characters are from the next game that we will be playing, which is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. It was originally released for the PlayStation Portable in 2010, and it will actually be a game that we're playing next time. It will focus on those 3 characters that we were introduced in the game, and most importantly, this game is a prequel. Straight prequel, takes place 10 years before the original Kingdom Hearts, and will lay the groundwork for everything leading up to where Sora's journey begins.
I think I have a feeling about what that character is going to be.
Okay.
But
I think just to get into it, then what are your predictions then, Josh, for Birth by Sleep?
I think that character's somehow blood related to Sora.
Maybe.
I have a feeling it's his father, but we don't know. His mother kind of just gets screwed off with the first game, so who knows?
It's really sad.
But I think it's an odd coincidence that they happen to look very similar.
That was my hunch too.
Or it's somehow Sora is a reincarnation of said character.
Yeah.
Like maybe not directly by bloodline, but somehow reincarnated.
Kind of like a Link situation.
Yeah, sort of like a a Link from Zelda.
Yeah.
Like they aren't the same character, but they be reborn every so often.
And they're different every time, kind of thing. It's the same core character, but it's different iterations.
And what is up? I just realized too, it's a trio again.
Yeah.
It's a damn trio.
They probably watched too much Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They're like,
They watched too much Harry Potter. They watched too much Star Wars. Yeah. They just wanted to.
It's all about the trios with one female. That's it, though. One female.
Yeah. We only need one.
Yeah. Well, Nomura's a cinephile, so it wouldn't surprise me if he just like takes stuff from his favorite movies and just like I mean, at one point when he was still developing Final Fantasy Versus 13, he wanted to make it a musical. So he's
funny.
just got.
That's funny. Oh my god.
He just has ideas out the wazoo.
I'd watch that.
So yeah, I'm curious about Mr. Nosferatu too. That's what I'm gonna keep calling him until we get introduced to his name. Mm-hmm. He's Nosferatu because he looks like him. He's ugly motherfucker. No, but I have a feeling like he's gonna play a bigger part throughout the series. I think, unless he gets killed off. But I have a feeling like it just seems too weird to think that this powerful magic-looking dude is just gonna be one and done. I don't know, but
I don't like that they dealt with the organization really fast either.
In the second game?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's not the end of it.
I have a feeling it's not the end of it too, but it's going to be a little bit different. I'm okay with that, but I feel like they could have held on to them a little longer.
Well, the game was pretty decently long.
It was. Mm-hmm.
And you get a lot of backstory with these teen memories in this days.
And that's probably why, like, to give them more of a fleshed out story, right? They've released these games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of, well, you said it's 10 years.
Yeah, it's 10 years before the first Kingdom Hearts.
How old is King Mickey? King Michael Roden.
King Michael Roden?
And his wife, Minerva.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been watching the Gigaboots highlights, if you couldn't tell. I don't think they really give Mickey an age. He's just sort of this ageless, omnipotent creature that just kind of exists.
I kind of would like to see maybe. Well, we might. Ooh, we might. Well, no, because he doesn't mention.
What you think?
Handsome.
Oh,
he's pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
10 years wouldn't be too bad. I'm just thinking maybe this could have sprung his research on the whole Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Well, there's got to be some setup for the story.
Yeah, I have a feeling like maybe we're going to see a younger Ansem too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Possibly. Because like, besides just the Heartless just kind of showing up, which is weird. How, like, the door into his basement just shows up? That just doesn't seem weird. The whole game isn't just random things. No. There's always more to it. It isn't just... There's got to be... I have a feeling this game is going to give a little bit of a backstory into how Ansem started doing his research on shit. Because there's no way that the door just shows up in his basement. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
No.
A door just shows up in your basement and there's no other thing going on.
He put that there.
Something happened that we're not being told on right now.
Josh, you're thinking like a true Kingdom Hearts fan now. Yeah. Every detail
I don't trust anything.
No.
Yeah, this door just shows up in my basement. I didn't put it here.
It's like Game of Thrones and it was good.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I'm treating this like, okay, what seems dumb that I've overlooked that isn't actually dumb? There's going to be more to it.
Yep.
Okay, let me think about this too. Okay, so we covered Ansem's Heartless and Nobody.
Yeah.
Riku's the replicant's gonna show up again. I know that for a fact. He's gonna show up again. Not in this game. That's too soon. You know, it'd be funny too if Sora's mom shows up and actually is a very important character. That'd be
or his father. Maybe we get him again.
You know, I'm just saying that'd be hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie, that has been a theory for a while that Sora's mom is actually really important to the plot.
Some super powerful.
Well, I'm just thinking
all being.
So we've got Ansem is old enough to be in this game.
Mm-hmm.
King Mickey possibly.
Oh yeah, probably.
Maybe Donald and Goofy, but I doubt it. So I think Ansem, maybe Yensid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Merlin, maybe. I doubt it.
Oh yeah. We could see more Merlin.
He kind of old, so yeah.
I have a really big feeling Ansem's gonna kind of show up for like the fact that the Door to Darkness just shows up in his basement.
If they're gonna put Mickey in the game, then Merlin's definitely going to be in the game.
Yeah.
Anson's definitely
Pooh
going to be
Bear.
in the game.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear?
Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear. Merlin confirms that too. Definitely Pooh.
I'm trying to think of any other characters that would be old enough that would actually play importance enough to show up in this game. Well, the fact that there's...
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Seeing as how we might see younger Ansem, we might also see his apprentices.
That is true. That would be interesting too. Yeah, we could see what they look like in human form.
Yeah.
And possibly we might see Axel.
Oh yeah, that's true.
As Lee.
We might see as Lee. Yeah, because we found out in this game that his real name is Lee.
Yep.
I have a feeling that it's going to be more focused on those three.
On our three new characters.
Three new characters and Nosferatu and his badass bitch.
It's gonna spring, like it'll create the situation of Kingdom Hearts 1 and pushing it into 2, right? Like it'll explain why it's happening to begin with.
I'm excited about the explanation on why there's so many Keyblades.
Yep.
I have a feeling like this is a war that's been going on for eons.
Well, we saw in the trailer there's 100,000 fucking Keyblades.
You know what? I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that there was one. This is going to be a Star Wars like epic.
Okay.
And the fact that Keyblade users are like Jedi.
Yeah.
There used to be millions of these bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got their asses kicked by the Darkness or some other type of major group that plays something huge in the universe.
I can see that.
And now Sora is a reincarnation or bloodline of said Keyblade user.
Yeah.
And actually, now think about it, Kairi and
want
also Riku play. Well, Kairi kind of uses one, but Riku has his own as well. Maybe they're all reincarnations of these three main characters.
Yeah.
Think about it. There's two males and a female.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's always two males and a female must be Keyblade users. Maybe there was more, but that's kind of what's been happening is they died off in reincarnation. But that's what I have a feeling.
Because we know there can be more than just 3 Keyblade wielders at a time, right? There could be as many as we want. So that would be pretty damn cool, right?
I have a feeling they're reincarnations though.
Like a Old Republic Jedi style.
It's got to be like that cutscene with that many freaking Keyblades on the ground. Are you kidding me? You tell me 3 of them need that many?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Some big ass war happened.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that Nosferatu is secretly the Emperor or Count Dooku with Diz. No, he's the Emperor and Diz was Count Dooku at one point. No.
Yeah, at one point.
No, but I have a feeling that it's just going to be way bigger than just a few small story stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. It's gonna be big.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I think those are really good predictions, and I look forward to eventually jumping into this because, like I said, Birth by Sleep will be the next actual game that we play. It'll probably take us a little bit because Birth by Sleep, well, depending on how we play it, we might be able to segment it enough because it shouldn't take us as long as Kingdom Hearts 2 to beat. It should probably take us about maybe the same amount of time it took us to beat the first game. But that will eventually be the next game that we'll be playing, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is one of my personal favorites of the series. I know it has a bit of a divisive reaction in the community, but I think. Judging by your predictions, I think you're really going to enjoy this. So I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Thank you as always, Josh, for joining me, and Sawyer. Thank you for joining us on these
You're welcome.
on these last two
Absolutely.
here. It was fun to have you here and talk Kingdom Hearts with us and all that good stuff.
Answer some questions for myself here.
Yeah. Who knows? You might be back for some of the later ones. So
probably.
Yeah. And until then, I think we're going to leave it here today. Thank you both again for joining us. And thank you all for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, share it with your friends, and be sure to like Shadow Shuffle Productions on both Twitter and Instagram for more information on yours truly. And until next time, does anybody else have any final remarks?
Got it memorized?
You.
I can't top that. Nope.
Oh, I think that is our cue, so we're going to be signing off. Thank you all so much for watching. May your hearts be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye.